Okay, today we're gonna start a project we've been putting off for a while. My old truck, Sweet Old International, has been leaking from the roof for quite a while, so a windshield's gotta come out. I gotta grind all this. I think the water, it's leaking from the roof because I could see it dripping down from inside. It's screwed up the headliner. It's a disaster. So I gotta pull the racks off. Pull this, there's chrome underneath right here. Pull that off. And then I'm gonna grind and clean all the way around and see what kind of mess I gotta clean up underneath there. Okay, I've taken this trim off in the past and I've used a 2x4, but today I'm going to try to use proper tools. Let's pick a hammer. Huh? I think probably this. God, so many choices. So basically, last time I did it, I started on one end and you just tap and then that will move. So I can't really do it and hold the camera at the same time. So I'll do a little bit and then film what it looks like when we're done. Okay, so we're moving along. You can see I tweaked it a little bit right there. And what I found to be working best is I come through and you get this here like this. And you can, oops, I get that like that right there. This is one-handed. And then you do that, you separate it a little bit. It's gonna have to be tapped back in some places. Probably tap back so it springs on really good. And you can see there's drama. This thing's gonna be drama. I got a feeling it's leaking from in here, right in here. That's where most of the water's coming from. Okay, we'll get all this stuff off. Now you kind of get the gist of how it's coming off. Give you a little, show you how I do it. And I've done it in the past and got it back on. Sometimes actually I just leave it off. Chrome is a reason why I ain't racing. So we got the trim off and we're getting in here, grinding away at this. You can see it's not too bad so far. Although you can see right there, there's a little hole. And I haven't even got all the paint off of here. There's a thick coat of that stuff. There's another little hole there. And you can see right in there is shot. Another hole here. Some holes there. So I'm gonna just basically take all this down to bare metal. Probably to about here for now with what I got. And then just start figuring out what I'm gonna do. But that's where we're at. And ended up using this setup here. I tried a few other things. They didn't seem to work quite so good. This black stuff, Flex Seal, seems to clog some of the pads pretty fast. Yeah, look at that hole there. So that's drama there. The whole windshield's gonna have to come out. And that's gonna be, this is the better side. This is gonna be the easier side. The other side's got some holes in it. It's drama. Anyways, nothing we haven't dealt with before. So it looks like I'm gonna be doing quite a bit of metal work. I mean, there's just all the way down. Holes, 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 holes. I think that might be where the water was getting in. Because she was a leaker ever since I had her. So we're gonna put an end to the leaking and get all this, well, at least the leaking from the roof. Get all this squared up. So that's probably it for today, man. That stuff is everywhere. Look at it, holes, holes, holes. I wish I could get a whole new roof and just cut that roof off and put a new roof on. Or not a whole new roof, but a used roof that's not as corroded. Because that's what I did with the Jeep and it worked out pretty good. Anyways, that's where we're at. Well, I got the easy part done. Got me a piece of sheet metal. That's going to be part of the new, that's where the new patch panels are going to come from. It's 18 gauge. It's a little bit thicker than the truck sheet metal, but that's better because then I can weld corners and stuff like that. And then over here, I've got my my weapons of rust stuff. So there's a lot of this stuff is stuff that I've had that's been around, and I picked up this Lumabase wax and grease remover. I got that from Harbor Freight. This stuff here, I love this stuff. That's that white milky stuff that turns it black. Zero rust, some anti-static. That's just before I paint, and that's before I paint. And that's probably the first thing we're going to do is clean it with that really good. Then I've got my mechanical stuff over here. I went to Harbor Freight. Went to Harbor Freight, threw up on my workbench. And I got all kinds of stuff to get this done. This is what we did most of the work with. Taking the seam sealer out. There was a lot of seam sealer in that thing, and you can see that it's done. I think a couple of those little metal things are stuck in my arm. Okay, so we got it cleaned up. So I think what we're gonna do, I think we're gonna end up capping it. Just basically, I'm gonna cut a piece of that 18 gauge and go right over the top, bring it to here. See if I can cut one for just about the whole length, bring it to here, and then probably cut strips for here, and just go right over the top. But, you know, of course, I'm gonna cut out the cancerous areas and get in there and treat and do the best I can. You know, it's not gonna, well, it may make it another 50 years, who knows? It won't have the, you know, what causes this is that insulation. The factory insulation they put in these trucks in the 70s holds condensation. And that's, I think, what causes this. So anyways, we're gonna try to cap it. So I've got my measuring sticks here. We're gonna measure it out and see what kind of piece we need. Start looking at getting it cut and getting it all figured out. But we got it cleaned up. So right now it's just cleaned with acetone, but before I weld, I'll come back with some wax and grease remover and maybe hit down in there a little bit better. I'm even thinking about cutting a thin strip for there, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Because that right there needs to be, that's not good. I might just try to, you ever seen anybody weld rust? Stay tuned. Okay, so I got a piece cut out. Well, you know what? I could actually do it this way. So you can see this is not, it's not the same size from here to here. Here, this is bigger. This is bigger, so it kind of, but we can, hello. We can stick that sucker in there like that. You know, my plan is to, you know, it still needs to clean up the inside here a little bit better. My plan is to get that cleaned up and then just come and tack this at the bottom all the way down like that. Tack it all the way down, then come back and trim this to the corner, because you see it's a little bit proud right now. So I can sand it down to the corner with a sanding disc. And then, you know, once this is tacked on the bottom, then start tacking the top, and you know, might have to, you know, massage that a little bit to fit. But that's, you know, once it's heated up and you get a hammer and work it a little bit, and then I'll probably do 1-inch strips, like here, all the way around. You can see up in there. Look at that big old hole around, and then I can run another flat one all the way down there. But that's my idea for now, to get all this capped up. If I can get it all capped up all the way around, you know, it'll be good for another 30 years, 40 years, maybe 50 years. That's 18 gauge. And then, you know, once I get ready to do that, I'll start cutting the rust out. And then this is my plan, to cut the rust out, clean out as much scale and bits and pieces in there as possible, and then flood this stuff. This is that milky stuff that gets in there and, you know, converts it to like a black thing. So do that, and then put some of this Zero Rust. So it's basically some kind of epoxy paint that's pretty hard. You know, will keep moisture off of the treated rust. Yeah, that's my thoughts. Whether it'll work or not, it's gonna make it at least as long as I own the vehicle. So this side I didn't clean up. This side here still needs to be cleaned up. You see dust everywhere. So that's it for this little time spent on it. I maybe spent about 2, maybe 3 hours on it. And we'll get back on it maybe tomorrow and continue on.